Tani Games here. Welcome back to the channel. I'm here with another speed build for you. This is effectively a kind of like two-part build. So the first part is this market area that we have in the dunes, and then the next part is kind of like a palatial build, which I've done with the desert palace that we got in the premium shop. So there's sort of two sections to this build. This is a bit of a long one, I apologize. I first started out like I do with a lot of builds, where I pull out a bunch of items that I think might be suitable for the build, and then at some point I realized that this was a slight mistake, because where I placed all the items was where I wanted to build. So I found it difficult to kind of build around. We might, well, I say we might, you will see some harsh cuts in this. Unfortunately, I needed to go to Scrooge's a few times to buy some items. I needed to go to the crafting bench to make some items. So there's a few jump cuts here and there. I do apologize for that, but yeah, I guess I wasn't fully 100% prepared with this build. I kind of knew the idea that I wanted to have, and then I kind of just winged it from that point onwards. So there is a lot of like harsh edits and cuts and jumps, unfortunately, so I do apologize for that. But hopefully you get the main idea behind the build. You can sort of see some of the different things that I did. So I really wanted to go for kind of like a very, very busy market vibe. So I wanted a lot of stalls. I wanted a lot of clutter and things like that, which I'm not the best when it comes to doing clutter builds and stuff like that. Like, there are Disney Dreamlight Valley creators out there that do it so well, so excellently. Like, honestly, kudos to them, because I can't do it. I can't do it. I try, but I can't. Um, so yeah, I did my best anyway with that kind of like cluttery build, and overlapping of items and things like that. So I tried my best. I wanted to create kind of like different sorts of stalls as well with this build. So I did go for kind of like some pottery stalls, and there was like a fabric stall. Then there was like a kind of like a food bit, and then like I made use of the tea sets that you get with the Eternity Isle expansion. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to get a mix of different items. I even do a bit of a kind of like a florally store as well. To kind of like mix it up and just add a few different kind of, like, I was thinking of things like when I go to markets and stuff like that, like you get such an eclectic mix and variety of different stalls. So I really kind of wanted to create that here. Obviously, with the reds, I think it's the red ones, you can't put items on top of the stalls. So they're a bit bare, and I just kind of had to decorate around the red stall items. And then the blue ones you can actually put like decor on, so I did do that with my build. So yeah, I kind of wanted as well with this build to create almost like not a windy path, but I wanted it to feel like it was, it had a lot of movement. There was a lot of twists and turns and corners to it and things like that. And I actually ended up coming up with the idea that when you walk into the market, you actually walk under these market tent stalls and things like that. So that's kind of what I wanted to get across in terms of the vibes and stuff like that. I did also want to make sure everything was still accessible, so all the paths and routes to the different areas. There's also a mining node that I wanted to make sure was accessible. I'm now realizing that there's a mining node behind Remy's restaurant, and I'm not certain that's accessible. So I might have to double check and change that, or just scoot Remy's over a little bit or something. Because I did kind of missed that one, unfortunately. So yeah, this is the point in the speed build where I'm kind of like trying to look for all the items that I've pulled out and make sense of them. um, it wasn't a smart idea. Usually this works for me in terms of a method, but I don't think I usually pull out so much clutter and items like I did with this build. Usually it's just kind of like a few items, but I think I went kind of overboard at the beginning, when realistically I should have got all the base pieces down first and then pulled out the little bit of clutter as I went stall by stall. I think that would have helped a lot. Now, when we get to the end of this build, I do a little bit of a walkthrough for you all, but I don't put any food on the tables. That is something I want to change. One of my plans, which I've been planning to do for weeks and weeks before the update even came down, I said I was going to do a video for all the food recipes in Eternity Isle, and I haven't got round to it, and I do apologise for that. It is on my radar. It is something that I definitely want to do, and then I think once I've done the Eternity Isle recipe video, I'll be able to decorate these tables with some food items, because I do want to use food items from Eternity Isle because I think it's just going to fit the theme better. So the tables are empty for now, but one thing that I would suggest if you kind of replicated a build like this is definitely put some food items on the tables. It will bring so much more life to the build. So yeah, that's one thing that I do recommend. One thing I also did in this build was pull out a ton of ice cream stands, because I definitely wanted to make use of an ice cream stand. But I couldn't decide on the color, so I kind of lined them up and tried to work out which colors I thought would look best. I kind of knew certain colors didn't look right. I wanted it to kind of blend in. And I ended up going for the pink ice cream cart in the end. I did debate about the red one for a bit, but I felt the red was just a little bit too harsh. If it was orange, I might have gone with that. So I went for the pink one because I felt it was a bit more muted and kind of really, yeah, it wasn't too eye-catching or distracting, which is kind of what I wanted. I didn't want the focus to be on like an ice cream stand. I did want the focus mainly on the stalls and tents, so I wanted those to kind of bring in the vibrancy and things like that. One thing I did debate doing with this build was actually adding in some tents, but as it turned out, I didn't have the room for it. There was a couple of extra things that I wanted to do as well. Like I really wanted to do a painting corner, which is why I had out Rapunzel's painting table initially. I think I bring out her easel as well at some point. So yeah, I kind of wanted to do that, but then in the end I didn't. One thing I'd like is maybe if we had another color for these market stalls, like if we had a green or something like that, then I might have used a couple of them and tried to maybe got rid of some of the smaller red ones that you can't decorate on top of, and replace those with a larger tent that you can put items under. I might have done that. So there's definitely ways you can kind of tweak this build and stuff like that to your own liking. It's sort of, if you want to go for like more, I would say, interactive parts of it. Another thing that you might notice actually in this build is that I start off with the house over here. I did want to include that initially just to kind of give the build a bit more life in terms of buildings. But then I realized I couldn't change the color of the house, and I wasn't vibing with it for some reason. So I decided ultimately to get rid of it. I don't know why I couldn't change the skin of it. I really don't know. I don't know what was going on, but usually the button where it says to replace wasn't there. So I don't know if that was just a glitch or if you can't change it. I assume you can change this house. No, you must be able to, because I believe in Nora's video from Horrible Gaming, she had 2 Desert Palace house skins, and to do that you have to change your house skin. So I don't know why I couldn't do it. It just wasn't working. Like I said, maybe it was just a glitch at the time. But yeah, so I ended up scrapping that idea and then just made a tiny little seating area with the space. So that's one thing that I did change. And you'll probably see as the build progresses that I do change a lot of placements of the items and things like that. So it does go through a bit of variety in terms of changes and developments and everything like that. But overall, I was quite happy with how this build turned out. It was certainly fun to do. It was a bit of a challenge for me kind of trying to build in this way. But I did enjoy it. I thought it was a lot of fun as well. Now I won't natter on for the whole of this build. I'll let you just enjoy the process. At the end, I do have a bit of a walkthrough. So if you're not interested in the build part, then feel free to skip ahead. I do a very short walkthrough showing all the decor and everything like that. So yeah, as I said, there's kind of 2 parts to this build. The main part is this market bit, and then the final part is a bit of a speed build with the Desert Palace. And for the Desert Palace, I tried to go for a bit more of a luxury kind of look. I really wanted it to kind of be like a palace effectively. So there's a lot of, it's not cluttered. There's a lot of gold and things like that in there. And just kind of looks a bit more grander, I guess you could say. So that's what comes in the final part of this speed build as well. But yeah, I will let you enjoy the build. You don't want to hear me natter on about nothing for hours and hours. I want to thank you for watching this video. Any likes, any subscribes are really, really appreciated. It does mean the world to me. But yeah, I'll leave it with you and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!